Hey, it's Hans. I'm about to head over to my friend Ryan's to do a photo shoot. It's going to be my first photo shoot using multiple lights with a 4x5 camera, so I'm pretty excited. Let's check it out. You may remember Ryan from my portfolio. I shot him a long time ago, and he's really awesome looking. Kind of looks like a cross between like Rob Zombie and Johnny Cash, so this should be pretty fun. Alright, because I failed miserably at doing these setup shots for the first setup, I'm going to show you downstairs where we're setting up now for the second shot. So bear with me. Alright Ryan, you get to say hi. I'm actually doing a behind the scenes.
We are live behind the scenes, or maybe not live now when you're watching this. But
right. We are live at this moment. These are the scenes. And we've got a light down here doing some bouncing. Got some good music playing in the background. A second light over here. Hopefully you will not be seeing in the shot.
items of mojo-tivity lying around, such as authentic Gibson guitars. Old school, new school, old school, new school country.
Good stuff, good
Some
stuff.
beard hairs, that kind of stuff.
And then here we have, of course, the camera that will be taking the shot. All right, it's the next day, and now it's time for me to actually develop this film. Hopefully it turned out. I'm trying to do some behind the scenes of how I actually scan the film as well, so hopefully that'll come out, but let's get going. First things first, some materials for you. We've got the, of course, ever important bag, Oh Darkness. We've got chemicals for C-41 processing, Patterson tank, Mod 41, excuse me, Mod 54, or 41 came from. We've got thermometer and various graduated cylinders, funnel, and there's coffee around here somewhere. Well, we'll have to remedy that soon. And of course, the film that has yet to be taken out. So let's do this. So we've got some exposed film, and now it's time to hit the scanner. Let's see what we got. All right, so we are in here, Epson Scan. First thing we're going to do is make sure we are in professional mode up here on the top left. We're going to be scanning film, color negative, 48-bit color. We want the most information that we can get. Resolution 2400 dpi. I think the scanner says that it can go to like whatever ridiculous amount, but I think of actual resolution 2400 is about as good as you get. Leave all of these unchecked because we're going to be doing all of our modifications in post. And then we get the preview. We have our thumbnails here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on one so you can see a little bit better. Go to normal. And here we go. I'm just gonna select this bottom one. I think I like the look in his face a little bit more. I tend to go, you know, for pictures that they're facing away for some reason or another. Who knows why? Anyway, uncheck unsharp mask because we'll do our own sharpening later on. Let's go into levels here. And for some reason this is all over the place. Kind of in the middle though, so that's good. So maybe it's not quite as underexposed as I thought. Beef up here. Move this over right about there. And you see the color is just all crazy, wonky. For some reason, Epson Scan color is just ridiculous. Like, I have no idea what kind of algorithm they are using, but it's just wrong 99% of the time. So let's try and level these out, see about where it gets us. I use Silver Fast as well, and that tends to do a better job as far as color rendition goes. That's actually not too shabby right there. I actually kind of like that. All right, cool. So we're gonna close here. We got this about where we want as far as the actual levels go, ish. And now what I'm gonna do is output the scan, and I'm gonna bring it into Lightroom for a little bit more. All right, so here we are in Lightroom, and we are about to import the file. So import. Takes a little bit of time because it is a 500 and something or other megabyte file. I think it's about roughly the equivalent of a 100 megapixel photograph, which is a little bit overkill for my needs. But, you know, hey, nice to have the info. Let's go into the develop module. Okay. That actually looks pretty good. One of the things you're going to have to get used to is that dust. Ah, hate it. Hate dust. Hate it, hate it, hate it. All right. So it's decently sharp. Yeah, that's actually not too shabby, especially considering we didn't apply any sharpening at all. Coming off of a flatbed scanner. And keep in mind, if you look up here to the top left, how small of a crop that is into the picture. So that looks pretty darn good. So first off, let's take a look here. I like to add a touch of clarity to my shots, maybe just a little bit less. You don't want it to look artificial. Shift, it's got a little bit of greenish tint to it. So we're gonna punch that out just a bit. Warm up the image overall. About there. I think the image could use a little more pop. So I'm gonna crush the blacks just a touch. There. That actually is looking pretty good. Thinking maybe it's got a little bit too much yellow in it. So we're going to desaturate the yellows just a touch. This is all by taste, you know. Once the film is going to give you a general tone, and it's up to you really what you want to do with it. But I kind of like this a little bit. I might give it a global saturation boost. Maybe I'll boost the reds a touch. Looks pretty darn nice, really. I might add maybe a touch of a vignette. So we'll go under Lighten's corrections here. This is all manual, of course, because ain't no electronics on this bad boy. Maybe we'll add just a bit of a vignette. Point out a touch. Good. Looking good, looking good. There. We want to keep the image looking natural. You know, you don't want it to get that crunchy quality that just seems that it's been processed to hell and back. That you don't want. Crush these blacks just a little more. But then bring back a little shadows. Maybe it's just a touch too saturated. Sometimes I like to just, you know, go ahead and shift something really dramatically and just see how I like to look, you know? So let's just drop the saturation a little bit more and just see how we like it. And I kind of like that a little bit, but I'm going to bring it back a touch. So maybe about there. And then let's saturate those reds a little bit more to really bring out that, make that guitar pop. Yellows a touch as well. Maybe not the yellows. That made everything look a little bit yellow. I like that. I like it. I think that's pretty tasty. Maybe give it just a little bit more of that vignette. And I think, voila, it looks pretty natural. And yeah, I definitely like all the tones. I like the picture, the colors. Yeah, I think we got a keeper. So now all that I would do is just export this into Photoshop for final sharpening. And then I would also get rid of all this dust here. I don't really, I mean, I think, the lines and crags in the face and all that, I think it really adds to it. You don't need to clean up that much, at least for these kinds of portraits. There aren't any blown highlights anywhere that I need to bring back. There's still tons of detail in here. Yeah, it all looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and export this directly into Photoshop. So I hope that gives you a little bit of clue into my process as to what I do with color film. I know I've had a lot of requests for it. I know it's a little bit simplistic, but hey, it works for me. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.